the lesson for today is percent increase and decrease. So I need you to take these notes. You're going to use this when you're given two amounts that have either increased or decreased. So that makes sense, right? Okay. And you want to find out what the percent change was. We have a formula for this. And the formula is change over original times 100. When you're talking about the change, you're talking about how much did something change. You're always going to say big minus little. And the original is the, I don't want to always say the first number, but it's the first occurrence. And you want to multiply it by 100 to get the percent.
What is that 100 say?
Occurrence. Okay. Does everybody have that needs it? Okay. Now let's look at an example. Bob bought a house in 1993 for $157,800. He sold it in 2012 for $213,300. What was the percent increase? Okay. So we're going to say the big minus the little. Now, are we talking about the years here? No. We're talking about the cost of the house. Now, let me tell you this. Just because you've been given a calculator does not mean that you don't have to write down the work that you're putting in the calculator. Okay? Calculator does not substitute for work because I cannot give partial credit. Cambridge will not give partial credit if you don't show all of your work. So, what is the bigger number here? All right, 212,300, and I'm subtracting. Okay. Now, which one was the original or the first occurrence? Okay. So, take your calculators, and do you see the button above 7? That is your fraction key. Okay? I want us to use the fraction key as much as possible to avoid making calculation errors. So, type in, and it'll give you a numerator and denominator. So, type in 212,300 minus 157,800, and in the denominator put 157,000. That's supposed to be 800, I'm sorry. Now that gives you a decimal of 0.34537 ... But if I want a percent, I need to multiply that by 100. I don't know what's happening. Let me try to start this over again. So that equals 34.5%. Now let's talk about significant figures here. That came up on, I think it was on your midterm. If I ask you for 3 significant figures, okay, everybody look at your calculator, multiply it by 100, you should have 34.537381 or something like that, right? Okay. Now, if I ask you for 3 significant figures, everybody look up here. Do you see 1, 2, 3? Yes? You always look at the 4th to determine whether the 3rd one stays the same or rounds up. Okay? So, with this being a 3, the 5 does what? Stays the same. Now, let me ask you this. If I ask you for 2 significant figures, what would my answer be? 35. Everybody look. 1, 2. Look at the next one. Would that round the 4 up or leave it the same? Rounds it up. Now, what if I ask you for 4 significant figures? 34.54. Okay, this is going to be very important when you take chemistry. They're going to call these sig figs, but you're going to have to know what that means. And in Cambridge, you give 3 significant figures on all estimated answers unless they tell you otherwise. Always. Okay? You can give more, but never give less. And if they say 3, they want 3. Okay, so let's look at the next problem. Okay. We never, ever, ever want to get a negative number. Okay? Increase or decrease, we never, ever, ever want to get a negative number. So we're always going to say big minus little. Okay? So Lauren bought a car in 2005 for $24,780. She sold it in 2010 for $16,900. What was the percent decrease? So we're going to say $24,780 minus $16,900 over, what was the original? Times 100, and give it to me in 3 significant figures, please. Okay? Some of y'all are still typing, so I'll give you a minute. Now, what did you get for the percent decrease? 31.8%. Now, guys, if you're in business, this would be called a loss Okay? If you're in business, this is a loss. That means you spent more than you got back. In this one, this would be known as a profit. Okay? So, this can be applied very much to business. You don't want to be paying out more than you're bringing in. All right, here's another one. Okay. All right, let's look at this. Daniel bought an old turntable, that's like a record player, if y'all don't know, that he sold for $570. If he bought it for $380, what was his profit? Okay, so we're going to say big minus little, but I'm putting this one up here for a reason. What is the original? 380. Good. I do not want you to always go by the first number. You've got to read the problem so you can determine if you just look at the numbers, you're going to make a mistake here. Okay? He originally bought it for $380. That was the original price. He sold it for $570. So you're going to say $570 minus $380. Divided by 380. So, what was his percent profit? So he made 50%. Guys, if you're ever in business for yourself and you need to make sure that you can sustain your overhead, which is your rent, your utilities, your labor, people who work for you. Some people, I worked for Kimberly Clark, and if they could not make a minimum of 20% on it, they didn't invest in it. They didn't buy it. So they had to determine what that percent was, minimum, that would keep them profitable. Okay? So you have to know this sort of stuff. All right, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you a worksheet.